Welcome back, everyone, to JFace Games. Today, I am telling you that I am going to back Distal. So Distal is a TTRPG game designed by Rel, and you can find it here on Backerkit. And as of today, which is May 26th, there are only 4 days left, right, for it to be backed. And it hasn't reached its goal yet, and I think it's a good game, right? I was waiting until, usually I back things when they get near the end. I don't know why. I probably should back them at the beginning. Usually it's budgetary, to be honest, and we're getting close to the next month, so I can actually pony up a little bit. So Distal is a D20 TTRPG, and I actually did a whole write-up on it on jfacegames.com. I'll put a link down below so you can see the write-up that I had. These write-ups are not reviews. They are literally mechanical, like, analysis, right? I go through and I say, what's the resolution system? How do we design the characters? What kind of skills do they use, etc. Because I'm creating, in essence, a database for me when I like to go in and try to find design ideas, because then I can look things up by different aspects, right, of the game. And so all these links on the left side aren't fully operational yet, but that's irrelevant because we're talking about Distal. What are some of the things I love about this game? Because we'll turn this into the Steal, for instance, the video series that I do usually when I review a game system. The Steal for me on this game, I really like the background system. So the background system, if I click over here, boop, this shows sort of the simplicity of the background system, where there's a very simple prompt here in terms of what are you trying to create for your character. And I talked about this before on the character creation video I had for my game that I'm designing. But I thought that it was just very smooth. It was very smooth to see that with each prompt, it was very flavorful. There was some really nice benefits in terms of how it fleshed out your character. So I really love the background system. The character creation process in general, I really enjoyed. What do they refer to it as? I think they don't refer to it as races. They refer to it as, is it ancestry? Lineages. The lineages in this game I thought were flavorful. Some of the pictures were great, like this one here, really cool. The background prompts I thought were great. I loved the contacts and the curios, which you can read up more on that. Skills system made perfect sense, and it was nice. I thought it was very smooth and very easy in terms of here are the skills, just nice clean lists. And I'll tell you, for designers, I don't know if other designers have this issue, but coming up with a skill list is awful. I've had a real challenge with that. And to be honest, I've taken a page from Skull and Crown, or Crown and Skull, and just made a massive skill list, and the only ones you put on your character sheet are the ones you choose, just because I was having such a bear of a time with the skill process. Contacts, really cool. Like I said, very flavorful, interesting things that you get to add to your character at the beginning. But this is one of the other things I loved, and this is one of those simple things, right? But I think that's what's nice about this game. And I don't think he's talked about this in his videos, but I just love that he organizes his classes by archetypes, right? So if you want to be a brutal fighter, here you go. Be one of these 3, right? If you want to be a skirmishing fighter, if you want to be a ranger type, if you're roguish. But I just love a frontline caster, right? So those are the ones that stick out to me the most. Like, do you want to be a frontline caster or a true caster? Do you want to be a brutal fighter or a skirmishing fighter? Those to me are super helpful, right? And he's got some really interesting class designs. You know, you're not your standard classes, and I think that's why he probably wrote these archetypes, which he was like, well, someone might not know what the ferryman is supposed to play like. And so having this sort of into these breakdowns, it's really cool, right? Very, very simple, very smooth. And then it goes into the class design, which I think is really fun. There's some really fun abilities. The other thing that I thought was nice is these are some of the monster stat sheets, stat blocks. And, you know, a couple games have been doing this now, like Dragonbane does it, and Crown and Skull does it, where the monster stat sheets already have behaviors, and they'll call them tactics in other games or everything. And I like that this was done, because this obviously this shows that he's been working on this for a long time before those games actually dropped, because those games dropped not too long ago. And so it shows that he was kind of in that same zeitgeist where it was like, let me develop behaviors for the monsters so that the GM doesn't feel like they have to be under this weight of, oh, who's going to go where, what's going to happen. You just roll your d4 and you find out what is it that that monster, we'll say monster, is going to do, right? I love those. You know, when I was doing Dragonbane, I DM'd that game, even though that game didn't stick with me in the long run. When I was DMing Dragonbane, I absolutely loved that, and I'm actually signed up for RuneJammer to be a guest DM on, or guest GM on RuneJammer, and I'm going to be running Crown and Skull games, and I'm excited because I love the idea of just rolling those to kind of let the dice determine sort of a little bit more of the mannerisms of those monsters, and so I'm a huge fan of that. That's pretty much the video. I just want to put a shout out to someone who's creating a cool game and who's put it up on Backerkit, and he's been very clear and candid about the Backerkit experience as well, and he's had some videos on the prep for this and the cost of artwork and those kind of things. And so for those of us who are also trying to create games, the transparency of his journey thus far has been enlightening, right? And he's already talked about doing a post-mortem video on whether this succeeds or doesn't succeed, on what he's learned. And for me, I love that kind of stuff. The only other person I've seen that really has done that is Matt Colville with MCDM. He wrote a blog right after his first book, Strongholds and Followers, dropped. But, you know, reading that it was fantastic. It was fun to read, but it felt like reading a celebrity's blog, because his user count or his follower count was through the roof already. So the ability to mirror that and learn from it, you could still learn from it, but it was hard to mirror it, right? Whereas I think Rel has a little bit more similar experience than some of us, and especially those who are in my community, in terms of designing, right? And so check out Distal. I'll put the Backerkit link below. I'll put the Writeup below that I have in terms of the straight mechanics list. There might be one or two things that are off, just a heads up, because I did it on the alpha. But the main gist is there. So go back it. You know, let's support some other creators in our community. And for those of you out there who are also designing games, jump on our Discord channel. Let's share our game designs. Let's talk about stuff. Before I jump, I also want to put out a quick shout out that one of the other write-ups I did, if you're on my page already, was for Brimstone, another community member. So check out the Brimstone TTRPG. It's already live up on drive-thru, and you can see its mechanics here. There's some cool design ideas as well. So have a great evening or a great day, whatever it is for you, and hit subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like button, and leave some comments.